Okay. So today's class is going to be a lot of things in terms of concepts. So people better.
So, can I ask you one thing?
Yes, please ask me all the doubts or questions, whatever you have.
Actually, I want to say that in our school, like they have started to take tests, and they said that they are going to add those marks for internals and all marks. So,
Okay.
and like our teacher, she has like she's going to start from next week. That is from Sunday, human reproduction. So I want that if we will start, we can start from that first.
Human reproduction. Okay, we can do one thing because see this batch, other people will also keep joining. So with respect to timing, if you specifically wants to study human reproduction, I have other batches in which you can just come for that class, study that for 1.5 hours, and I can arrange that for you. Or we have already my recorded lectures for human reproduction.
Hmm.
If you would like, then I can give you the link for those classes. How about that?
That's more better. Like I can see it in the bus and all also.
Right. So I think the link, you are comfortable with link more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will just ask right now. Or do you have my number?
I have your WhatsApp and Telegram both.
Okay, cool. So you drop me a hello on my WhatsApp, and there I will send you the link.
Okay, sure, sir.
So for male as well as the female system, I have just started female system in one of the batch. We have finished male system, male reproductive system. So I will send you whatever I have taught. Like it's around three
Okay.
hours of class. So whenever you want to watch it, just keep watching it in the bus or in a school or wherever. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you have any doubts, then in the normal classes, when I start, I always ask you to ask doubts. And those doubts could be, or at the end of the class, I can give you 10 extra minutes where you can ask me doubts.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.
No, enjoy.
Okay. So just drop me a text and I'll send you the link. Okay.
Shall I message now?
Yeah. After the class, it will work after the class.
Okay.
So let's start with today's class. Okay. Let's start with the, so because it's right. Yes. I'm going to
So
message.
it is 1 minute. I'm searching for one.
Yes.
और मम्मी मेरा सामान नहीं मिल रहा है.
You're there, Aisha?
Hello, so am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was stuck.
Yeah, I was waiting for you. Okay, so let's begin. So
Yeah.
to give you a quick recap. So in the last class, we finished asexual reproduction in lower organisms.
Yeah.
The parts which are the types which are also present in NCRT is binary fission, budding, fragmentation, regeneration. All of this we did, right? And then I told
Yeah.
you in today's class, we also did spore formation. And in today's class, we will be starting with vegetative propagation, which is a asexual mode in higher organisms like plants. In the last class, I already have given you a brief introduction that vegetative propagation is of two types, natural and artificial.
Artificial, when we completed that part also.
Yeah.
In natural one, we did that. In natural vegetative propagation, it occurs when the plants grow and develop naturally without any human interference,
And in artificial, humans.
with the help of humans.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So I have explained you leaves. So leaves, stem, roots, and bulbs. Let's just quickly go over these and then we can move forward. Okay.
Okay, so.
Natural mode, as you know, if it is natural and if it is without any human intervention, the plant has to propagate by itself, right? So mostly plant propagate by itself through the vegetative structures. So in vegetative propagation, the vegetative structures are responsible. Okay, and what are the vegetative structures?
Leaf, stem, root.
Yes. Either it is through leaves, and when it propagates through leaves, it's simple that leaves has to fall down from the tree, and when leaves fall on the ground, they contain bud-like structures that can germinate into a new plant. Okay, clear? Easy?
Yes, sir.
And this happens in bryophyllum. So in bryophyllum, the leaf of the bryophyllum, as we have, I think I have discussed this with you in some other batch as well, that the leaf contains small bud-like structures, right? We have discussed this or not?
No, you haven't discussed with us.
So write down. Plants can vegetatively propagate through leaves. Plants can vegetatively propagate through leaves. Where the leaves have modified structures, where the leaves have modified structures which can modified structures which upon falling in the soil, which upon falling in the soil grows into a new plant.
Then so.
Yes. So then you can write examples is bryophyllum, where buds at the leaf notch are present. So the notches, you will see buds present. Okay. When this leaf falls in the soil, it starts growing into a new plant. Okay. Yes. Second, it can also happen, and when it comes through leaves, another example is aloe vera.
Yeah.
In propagate that mode, the fleshy pulpy part of the aloe vera is actually the leaf of aloe vera, right?
Yeah.
So if you cut that leaf, you take that leaf out and put it in a new pot, that leaf will start producing new roots, and the structure will develop into a new aloe vera plant. Okay.
So can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
In aloe vera, it's like I think so. You said right, like if we cut the leaf and we will put, or sometimes if we put the aloe vera also, like when it's matured, we'll see very small aloe veras are growing, right?
Yes, so you will see that aloe vera, the leaf of the aloe vera, if I draw it here, sorry, you can still see the screen, right?
Yeah.
Aloe vera always comes in like these big leaves, right? Which towards the end are like this, attached to a common stem, and there are many leaves that are growing from the same stem, right? In
Yeah.
like a patch. And these leaves have small, like, spiny thing at the edges, right?
Yeah.
Which we basically remove. And it is fleshy. It has a lot of pulp, the aloe vera pulp.
Yeah.
So if you take one leaf and put it in soil, so this one leaf, you take this complete leaf and put it in another pot, it will start developing into a new plant. Okay.
But sir, it's not possible for all the aloe vera, right?
It's all the aloe vera means, like if you cut it from here and put it, then it's not possible.
No, I
Yeah.
have heard somewhere like all the aloe veras can't do, or maybe so
Please.
male or female, anyone is doing this stuff.
Basically, for vegetative propagation, you do not have to worry about the male or the female, because if something like, let's say, a rose plant is growing vegetatively through the stem, so it does not matter whether you are cutting the stem from a male plant or a female plant or a bisexual plant. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because this is asexual reproduction. It has nothing to do with the maleness or the femaleness of that plant. It just tells that this particular structure is a modified adventitious structure which is capable of giving rise to a new plant. So that's why it's called vegetative propagation. Okay.
Yeah.
It can happen regardless whether it's a male or female plant. Okay.
Yeah.
Second thing, another structure is stem. So plants can naturally also propagate through stem. Now write down the, the structures are called runners. So write down.
The structure are called runners.
No, write down this. Runners
Yeah.
are modified stem. Runners are modified stem that grow horizontally. That grow horizontally above the ground. Now, normally, stems do not grow in a horizontal manner. Stems grow vertically. They go from the ground up in the air, right? They do
Yeah.
not grow horizontally. But these structures, which are called runners, are modified structures. So they grow horizontally above the ground. So basically what they do is, it's something like this. So there is a stem and a plant, okay? You see a plant flourishing, and there will be roots in the ground as well, right? But this plant will start forming a runner. So this is a runner. Can you see this?
Yeah.
It's growing above the ground, and after reaching one point, so at another node, a new plant will be formed. Okay, you understand? So the region from this to this is called internode of the runner, and at the node, this is node 1 and this is another node. Okay, so at the nodes, new plants are formed. So by this, it is a modified stem. They are propagating through stem, because runner is a stem which grows horizontally. Is it clear, Aisha?
Yeah.
Okay. Write down. The buds are formed. The buds. This is the developing bud. The buds are formed at the nodes of the runner. At the nodes of the runner. So it can keep, yes, nodes of the runner. So it can keep propagating. The plant can keep forming more and more plants. So it is a way of asexual reproduction. Okay.
Yeah.
Leaf is done, stem is done. The third thing then is roots. Naturally, it can happen through roots, and when it happens through roots, so you can write new plants. New plants.
Can I write it?
Yes, write down new plants can emerge from swollen. Swollen means swollen.
Okay, fine.
Swollen means.
Shall I say that what we are saying?
Yes, like it's swelling, right?
Yeah, like after
Bulged out part.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So swollen and modified. So roots are mostly, when they are modified, they become swollen. So new plants grow from swollen and modified roots, which are known as tubers.
What?
Tubers. Yes, tubers, known as tubers. Okay.
Okay.
So these tubers, like you know that potato is a root. Sorry, potato is a stem, underground stem.
I was thinking potato is a root.
No, potato is not a root. So write down potato is a modified underground stem. It is a swollen modified underground stem. Okay.
Potato is a modified swollen stem.
Yes, but sweet potato is a root. Turnip is a root. Carrot is a root. Radish is a root. Okay, they are all modified roots. So sweet potato is a modified root, and they are known as tubers. So from those modified swollen roots, small tubers, which are known as tubers, small buds arise at the base of the stem. So write down, buds are formed. So here, in case of runners, buds are formed at the nodes, right?
Yeah.
In case of tubers, buds are formed
near the root.
At the base of the stem. Buds are formed
at the base of stem.
Excuse me. Buds are formed at the base of stem. You can write the examples. Sweet potato is one example. Tubers. Turnip.
So beetroot.
But for roots, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, vegetatively, they can grow like this is in NCRT. It has been shown for agave, bulbil of agave. There is a diagram in NCRT which says that vegetative propagation happening through bulbil of agave. So bulbs. Now bulbs are slightly different structures than tubers or runners. So let's write down what are bulbs first. So write down bulbs are, or bulbs have. Bulbs have underground stem to which leaves are attached. Leaves are attached. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And these leaves, next point, these leaves are modified. These leaves are not normal leaves because they are coming from underground. So these leaves are modified to store food. Modified to store food. Okay.
Yeah, so their structure is also different from the normal leaf.
Yes, and I'll draw the structure for you to, but But first, complete the written part for boards. So bulbs are underground stem to which leaves are attached, and the leaves are modified to store food. And write down, in the center of the bulb, in the center of the bulb, contains, center of the bulb contains bud. So where is bud in this case? In the center of the bulb. Okay.
Okay.
Where was bud in case of tubers? At the base of the stem. Where was bud in the case of runners? At the nodes, above the ground. Above the ground. And where are buds in the bulbs? In the center of the bulb.
They are at the center
of the bulb, inside the ground. Okay. They are inside the ground. You can write. They are underground buds. An example of bulb is, you have seen onion.
Yeah.
And garlic.
Yeah.
So let's draw an onion and a garlic. The part of the onion that we eat in the salads, what is that part? You know that? So if you have seen a very young raw onion, which is like green leaves are there.
Yeah.
And then it looks like a very small white bulb. And it has something like this, right? So this is how a young onion looks like, right?
Yeah.
So this part is clearly leaf, we know. So this part is green. But when the onion is mature, which comes in the market, which we put in our salads, so that onion, we cut that green part and it is more mature, bigger. And it has a disc-like structure here, right? At the base, yeah, which we cut and remove. And this is the structure, right? Something like that. So then we keep removing the layers of the onion. So onion is in layer. So there are layer by layer by layer, lots of layers are there, right?
Yeah.
So what is this part, the fleshy part that we eat?
It's a vegetable.
What structure is this? Is it a root, a stem, a leaf, a fruit? What do you think it is?
According to me, I think it's a fruit.
No, it's a leaf. So write down, the onion, the edible part of onion is modified leaf. Okay, and it stores food. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And what happens when you keep removing the layers of the onion, Aisha? You reach
that one thick part is coming.
So in the center, you will reach a structure which is like this, a bud-like structure, right?
Yeah, it's little bit thick as compared to that normal one.
Yes, this is called the bud. Okay, this is the central bud. So this is what I have written in the definition, that it's an underground stem to which leaves are attached. Where is the stem here? Can you tell me where is the stem?
Stem.
Yes.
We got the leaf, we got the bud. I guess the stem is that down, that hairy stuff is there.
This one.
Which one? I can't see. Yeah.
Yes. So this is the discoid reduced stem. So write down, in an onion, there is a discoid reduced stem. So the stem is, normally stems look like long structures, right?
Yeah.
In case of onion, you do not see a long stem. You see a disc-like stem. So the part which we cut with the knife and remove from our salads, we do not eat it. And from the stems, these mustache-like, whisker-like things which are coming out is actually the roots. Okay? So the part which we eat of the leaf, of the onion, is the leaf. And stem is reduced in a form of a disc, and then roots are present. So onions develop vegetatively from the bulbs. Okay. If you have seen in your homes, if there is an onion which is very old, then these onions start developing green or whitish things here.
Yeah, that green.
Put this onion back into the soil, it will grow into a new onion plant.
Yeah, and it's even used as a spring onion sometimes.
Yes, and where it is coming from? From the bud only. You understand?
Yeah.
The structure of garlic is also something like this. Can you see?
Yeah, even garlic we find that green stuff when
It is central bud. Yes.
Yeah.
Garlic is almost same, but instead of layers, it has like a specific, what do you say? Each tablet, a tablet kind of thing, right? Arranged in a circular manner. You've seen a garlic, no? These kind of tablets are arranged in a circular manner.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And here you have a disc like stem, and you have this, and there's a covering on the top. So you remove this covering, and then you put out all these individual tablets. And in the center here also you see a stem, a bud, right? In garlic.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, that it's kind of retrieval tolerance and stuff.
Yes. Onion garlics both have bulbs in nature. So naturally, as I've told you, all these are clear to you. Naturally, they can grow through leaf, stem, roots, and bulb, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Now let's talk about the artificial mode quickly. And this is the one which is mostly in all the books you have studied in your junior classes, artificial mode of vegetation.
That what we are saying, grafting, cutting,
Yes,
and all
yes,
stuff.
yes. Which humans do, which we do.
Yeah.
So the first thing in artificial is cutting. Okay. And what happens in cutting? Simple. Yes. Tell me.
It's like they will cut the, how will I say,
Branch, a stem or a branch, right?
yeah, we have seen in trees and all, like they are always cutting it, especially for roses and all, right?
Yes. So what do you do after cutting that stem or the branch?
If I take the example of rose, um, they can keep it in other pot or they can throw it.
You cut the branch and put it in soil. And from that cut part, which is called cutting, a new plant develops.
Yeah.
Yes. So write down, define cutting, write down. In cutting a part of a plant, in cutting a part of a plant, in brackets write down a stem, a branch or a leaf. A stem, a branch or a leaf. Brackets closed, is cut and planted in the soil. Is cut and planted in the soil. Okay. So any part of the plant, it can be a stem, a branch or a leaf. You cut it and plant it in the soil. Is it clear? Is it clear, Aisha? You are mute if you're speaking. And in cutting, sometimes, because now these cut parts are shoots, right? So they do not have the root. So they have to develop a root system. And for this to happen, they require to be treated with the plant growth hormones. So write down. Sometimes they are treated with plant growth hormones. Plant growth hormones. in order to induce root development. Is it okay? You understand? Yes, Aisha?
Yes, sir. It's all right.
So after you treat it with plant growth hormones, and when the roots are induced, those roots will be adventitious roots, right? Because normally those roots does not come up where they come up now. This is called cutting. Simple. You cut any part, put it in the soil. And if that plant grows from there, then that plant can be propagated through cutting. The most famous example which you also gave me is rose. Rose can be propagated
So,
through cutting.
but to
Yes.
be honest, like if we try in real life, like I have tried, but nothing happened. It was just like my stem used to be, I think, and it used to be dried up.
You tried with the rose?
Yeah.
Yes. But then there are
But
many
like,
factors. So if you cut the branch of a rose and put it in soil, you also need to give plant growth hormones in order to induce root. Right? Otherwise root will not develop, and if roots does not develop at the right time, then the plant will dry and die. So probably that happened with your plant.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. After cutting, there is another method called grafting. You also have read about grafting in junior classes. You know what is
Yeah.
grafting?
It's the removal, right? I guess.
Yes. What do we mean by a graft? Have you heard of tissue graft? Have you heard of plastic surgery in humans?
Yeah, I have heard.
So what happens in plastic surgery? Do we put plastic?
No.
No. What is it basically? Either
I
it is
think so. They will remove the dead cells and tissues of the skin, right, for the extra glow.
actually they replace a damaged tissue with either a natural tissue or a synthetic tissue. That is
Yeah.
grafting. So suppose someone gets a burn on the face or somewhere.
They will replace it with the other skin parts.
Yes. So either you can take skin from some other parts of the body if that fits there, or you change it, replace it with some artificial synthetic skin. Okay. So that is called graft, tissue grafting in animals or humans. But in plants, grafting has the similar logic. Basically, what you are doing in cutting, you are cutting a part and putting it in the soil. Here, you are cutting a part from one plant, but instead of putting it in the soil, you are putting it on another plant. You are grafting it basically on another plant. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes. So write down in grafting. In grafting, the cut part from some other plant, the cut part from some other plant is attached is attached to the stem, attached to the stem
Of other plant.
of a rooted plant, of a rooted plant. So this plant on which we are putting the things, this plant should be rooted. It should have a good root system. It should have a proper root system. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if the root system is not there, then the plant that we are grafting will not survive, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So write down. Next point. That the part which is taken, the part which is taken for grafting is known as a graft.
Or grafting is known as a graft.
The part which is taken, the part which is taken for grafting. So you take some part from other plant, no, you cut some part. So that part which you are cutting and not putting it in soil, but putting on another plant is called graft. Okay. Basically the cut part is called graft. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And write down this graft becomes a part of the rooted plant. This graft becomes a part of the rooted plant and develop as a single plant over time. And develop as a single plant over time. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, in grafting, there is some limitations. So this is a question that what are the limitations or disadvantages of grafting? So what do you think are the limitations of this process? Any idea? See, here we have to take a part from somewhere and put it somewhere, right? So
Yeah.
the first limitation is that all plants do not adapt with all the plants. So graft of any plant will not work on any other plant, right? So there are few plants which can actually give and take grafts. You understand?
Yeah, like it's not possible with all the plants.
Yes. So you cannot take, let's for example, a mango graft and put it on a pomegranate tree. That will not work, right?
No.
Yes. So the limitation is, write down the graft has to be accepted, or write it down like this. All the plants do not integrate. All the plants do not integrate and develop. All plants do not integrate or develop as grafts on other plants. Right? So it becomes slightly limited. And another limitation is the diameter of graft should not be more than the rooted plant. You understand?
Yes, sir.
It can be slightly less. If it is less, we can put it as a branch. But if it is more, we cannot graft it on a plant, right?
Yeah.
So the age of the plant, the diameter, the size of the plant, girth and width also has to be taken into consideration. Do you understand, Aisha?
Yes, sir.
This is the limitation. Okay. Grafting is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Then you also must have studied in junior classes something called layering, or must have heard the word layering.
Yeah.
Yes. What is layering? You understand layering?
I understand, but it's not coming in my mind right now.
Okay, so in layering, basically what we do is we choose a plant which is flexible, which has flexible branches. So
So maybe so in that, like, we'll cut or something and we'll add another one, something like that.
no, we do not cut here. What we do is we pull the branch down towards the soil and dig, like we bury some part of that branch inside the soil. Okay, so it first let's write down, then I'll explain it to you with a diagram. Write down layering. In layering, in layering, the stem or branch, in layering, the stem or branch of a plant, the stem or branch of a plant is bent to the ground. Stem or branch of plant is bent to the ground and covered with soil, or is buried under soil. You can write covered or buried in soil. Okay, and then what happens, the part which we have buried, so it looks something like this. So let's say there is a plant. Okay, so this is a plant, it has a root system. Okay, this is the stem and it has long branches, lots of branches. Okay, Aisha?
Yes, sir.
So we will pull one of the branch, which is this, and this is the ground. So we will pull one of the branch down in the ground and we will dig it inside. So some part of it will be left outside, but other part is covered with soil. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So when you cover this part, then the part which is covered starts developing new roots. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So new adventitious roots starts to develop, and then this part will start developing as a new plant.
New tree.
So this new plant is known as a layer. What it is known?
Layer.
Yes. So write down. The adventitious roots starts growing. Adventitious roots starts growing from the covered part of the plant. From the covered part or buried part. You can write down from the buried part. From the buried, B-U-R-I-E-D, from the buried part of the plant. And this, write down this attached stem, this attached stem with new developing roots, this attached stem with new developing roots is known as a layer. Is known as a layer. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. So cutting, grafting, and layering, all three artificial modes are clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, there is one more thing that we have to study in this part, which is the fourth thing for plant, which is called tissue culture. Tissue culture is also an artificial mode by which plants can be propagated. It is a vegetative propagation, basically. So write down first tissue cultures. As the term says, tissue and culture. So we are culturing the tissues of a plant, right? You remember you studied in class 11th that there are certain parts of a plant which rapidly divide and other parts do not divide.
Yeah.
So the tissues constantly keep dividing are known as meristematic tissues. Remember meristematic tissues?
Yeah.
Yes. So meristematic tissues are undifferentiated tissues which have the capability to divide actively. A part of those tissues is used for tissue culture. Okay, so you can write down in in tissue culture. In tissue culture, plant tissues, plant tissues from from some specific parts of the plant. Plant tissues from some specific parts of the plant are cultured in a laboratory. Okay, so this part does not happens in the ground or the field. It happens in a laboratory to develop into a new plant. To develop it into a new plant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Basically, what we do is we take some tissues, and most of the time, you can write down these tissues must have these tissues must have active capability to divide. Active capability to divide and differentiate. Active capability to divide and differentiate. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
You can write down. Therefore, meristematic tissues are used. Therefore, meristematic tissues are used. Now, this is a board question. Written, meristematic tissues are used.
Yes, sir.
So the question that has been asked in the board is about what is the advantage. What do you think is the advantage of tissue culture? Because we are spending a lot of resources, we are doing it in a laboratory, so a lot of money will also be used, and it's a very high profile technique. So what is the advantage?
Mm. Like as compared to the normal plant, I think so it can grow more fastly.
It's not about growing fast. It is about, as you said, that normal
From that,
plant. Yes.
uh, some unique kinds of plants are being grown.
Exactly. Amazing. So the point here is that normal plants can grow by vegetative propagation in grafting, layering, cutting, right? But
Yeah.
tissue culture is done for those plants which are very rare and which cannot grow and survive in the wild, in the natural habitat. So write down the advantage of tissue culture.
So for this kinds of tissue, like I think so we have seen it in exhibition and all some rare kind of they will keep it in the jar or something like that.
In exhibitions, they could be normal plants also, just the part of plants to show you we just preserve any living tissue in formalin in a jar, both plant and animal. But tissue culture is specifically done. So write down this one point. This technique is helpful. This technique is helpful in increasing in increasing the number, or you can write in growing. In growing, rare and endangered plant species. Rare and endangered plant species. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what do we mean by endangered?
Those who are about to like
Yes, about to extinct.
yeah.
Those which are very few in the wild, and if we do not preserve them, their whole species will wipe out. Those are called endangered. Second advantage is, write down, this technique also helps to propagate. This technique also helps to propagate the plant species, which are unable to grow, which are unable to grow under natural conditions. Under natural conditions. Okay. This is a question which has come in boards. You have to write it and remember it. These are the 2 points that you will write if this question comes.
Say, but it's really the topic, right?
What?
This chapter is not there.
This chapter?
Yeah.
Where it is not there? In your exams, school exams?
No, in boards also. Chapter 1 is not there.
Oh, okay. Then probably knowing our tissue culture will come in entrance. And tissue culture is not specifically a part of chapter 1, but because it's a reproductive way, it is an artificial way of reproduction. So I taught you this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Higher plants, both natural mode, artificial mode, and tissue culture. Everything is clear, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's now go to certain important concepts which are there in your NCERT, both for boards and entrances. So there is a concept of lifespan and life cycle, right?
Yeah.
You know what is a lifespan and what is a life cycle?
Lifespan means your maximum the species, the organism is going to live.
See, simply lifespan is a total span. It starts somewhere and it ends somewhere. Okay. And life cycle is called a cycle because it continues this cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
So lifespan, write down, lifespan is the period from birth to natural death. Death can also be unnatural, like some organism got killed, but that is not the natural death. So that is lifespan. Okay.
Like the maximum age, like for someone it's maximum 60 years.
Yes, like humans can live for around 60 to 70 years.
Yeah.
That is lifespan. Okay. And then write down life cycle. Life cycle is a series of stages, during development from gametes to sexual maturity. Of an organism. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in place of gametes, you can write down from zygote, or let it be, write both from gamete to sexual maturity of an organism. Now, this is a, for example, if we talk about lifespan, then something is born, then it lives, it reaches sexual maturity, and then it dies. Okay. So this full thing is called a lifespan. In a life cycle, it is like it starts, let's say an egg is formed. From the egg, what will be formed? A larvae. From the
Yes.
larvae, a pupa, right? In case of
Yeah.
insects. From the pupa, an adult. Right? So you see all these various stages, a series of stages. And then this adult again will start forming gametes. And these gametes will fertilize to again give rise to an egg. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So it's like a cycle. Every organism is born from zygote. Then it is either it comes out as an egg or a baby. Then it develops through stages like larva, pupa, adult. In humans, it is like juvenile, and then sexually gets matured at puberty. Then that organism starts forming gametes further on, which again go back and do the same cycle. So you understood lifespan versus life cycle?
Yes, sir.
Which is longer, according to you? Life?
Lifespan.
Yes. So write down lifespan is always longer than the life cycle. Lifespan is always longer or equivalent. In some plants, it is also equal, but not. It can never be short. Lifespan is always longer or equivalent to life cycle. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what you have to do is write down this as a assignment. Your in-class homework is you have to go to NCRT, and at page number 4, you will find a graphical table where you have to figure out life cycle and lifespan of various organisms. Okay, you have to complete that.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
you have to complete lifespan and life cycle. Can you see? Do you have the book right now?
Yeah, I have. 1 minute, sir. Let me take it out.
So can you open the book and go to first chapter, page number 4, I think.
Yeah, just 1 minute.
Yes, please. Yes, are you there, Aisha?
Yes, sir.
You found it?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you see that table, graphical table?
Elephant, rose, dog. I
Yes.
guess dog lives for 16 years, right?
Yes, so you have to figure it out, find it from sources and complete this. Okay, this I'm giving you as a homework.
Sure, sir.
Okay, now come back and let's discuss about certain points. Now, in every organism's life, before the organism reaches sexual maturity, it has a phase, right? It is both for plants and animals. Right after the birth, we are not sexually mature, right?
Yeah.
In humans, we have to reach puberty, which is at around, you know, 10 to 13. So this is a part of your human reproduction also. So pay attention. So till you reach puberty, you are not sexually mature. That phase is known as a juvenile phase. So write down. Question: what is a juvenile phase? What is a juvenile phase? You can write down. The phase of the phase of growth, the phase of growth and maturity. Sorry, the phase of growth and development. The phase, or you can also use the word period. The phase or the period of growth and development in every organism, in every organism, in every organism, before they reach, before they reach sexual maturity. Before they reach sexual maturity is called juvenile phase. Okay.
Yes, sir.
In plants, it is known as vegetative phase. So the word juvenile is mostly used for animals and humans. Okay, because humans are also animals. In plants, write down. In plants, we call it vegetative phase. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now, in human reproduction, which is a part of your syllabus for exams, you will write that you will study that when animals like humans, when humans reach sexual maturity, they reach puberty, right?
Yeah.
And after they reach puberty, both in males and females, there are certain changes that starts taking place, right?
Yeah.
So one such change in females is that they start undergoing a menstrual cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are two terms which we have to study. So write down: upon sexual maturation, upon sexual maturation, in bracket write down puberty, puberty in humans. Upon sexual maturation, puberty in humans, the females, the females of placental mammals. Humans also are placental mammals. So you can write the females, in bracket you can write as placental mammals. So those mammals which have a placenta. We will talk about placenta later, but just write down. After reaching puberty in humans, placental mammals, the females undergo cyclic changes. The females undergo cyclic changes related to the reproductive structures, cyclic changes related to the reproductive organs. And what are the reproductive organs of a female called? Ovaries, remember?
Ovary. Yeah.
Related to the reproductive organs, ovaries. Along with hormonal changes. Along with hormonal changes. So this happens in mammals, okay? Write down, in primates, you know what are primates? What are primates? Primates are those mammals which are human-like. Monkeys, apes, and humans, okay? So write down, in primates, in the bracket, write down monkeys, apes, and humans. This cycle is called, in primates, this cycle is called menstrual cycle. Okay?
Monkeys also have menstrual cycle.
Sorry, what?
Monkeys are also having.
Yes. Monkeys, chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutan, baboon, lemur, apes, humans, all of us, all the primates have menstrual cycle. And write down, in non-primates. Non-primates are, again, they are mammals, but they are not like humans. In non-primates, can you think of examples of non-primates?
Dog, cat.
Yes, dog, cats, cow, buffaloes. Horse, etc. Okay. So in non-primates, this cycle is called, it's not known as menstrual cycle. This cycle is called estrus cycle.
What happened in that cycle?
These cycles are slightly different, and we'll study about the difference later in detail. Currently, you just have to know that there are two different cycles. The difference is in the length, majorly. Also, the difference is in the bleeding. So in menstrual cycle, blood comes out through the uterus, right?
Yeah.
And it keeps on bleeding for 3 to 5 days in females. In estrus cycles, the bleeding is not there that much. Okay.
Okay.
So that's why you will never see that someone who's having a cow or a goat or a dog or cats. If you have a female cat or a female dog, you do not see them bleeding.
Yeah.
They never bleed, but they are also mammals. They are also going through a cycle, but their cycle is without bleeding. So that's called estrus cycle. Okay. That is one major difference, but there is also difference in the mechanism that we will discuss in later chapters. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Then I will discuss it in the female reproduction. I'll send you the link for that, and you can see that for your exams if they come early. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sir.
So estrus cycle and menstrual cycle both is clear.
Yes, sir.
Now there are certain words that we have to understand with respect to sexual reproduction. So whatever we studied till now was asexual reproduction. Okay. In lower organisms and also in higher organisms like plants. Now we will be talking about fundamentals of sexual reproduction. So what happens in sexual reproduction?
Fusion of male gamete and female gamete.
First thing is gametogenesis happens.
Yeah.
You write down gametogenesis takes place. Second, gamete fusion also takes place, right?
Yeah.
So gamete fusion takes place. And what is gamete fusion known as? Gamete fusion is known as syngamy, or we also call it as fertilization. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this takes place in sexual reproduction, and genetic variation arises, right,
Yes, sir.
among the offsprings. The most important thing is two sexes are involved.
Testes and ovaries.
Yes. Testes and ovaries are organs. So, but sexes means the bodies which contains testes and contains ovaries. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Now, good thing that you remembered is testes and ovaries. So you can write down the male sexual organ is called testes, and male gametes are called spermatozoa. Okay, they are
Yeah.
also known as sperms, and testes are also known as testicles. And then male gametogenesis is called spermatogenesis. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And if we talk the same thing about a female, so a female sexual organ is?
Ovary.
Yes, ovaries. And a female gamete is known as?
Ovule.
Yes, ovum, or you call it ovule. You call it egg cell. Ovule is not a gamete, sorry. The structure. So we call it egg cell. Egg cell is the gamete inside the ovule, right? Ovum, egg cell, or we call it oocyte. These three are the same name for ovum, egg cell, and oocyte are same. And female gametogenesis is called? Oogenesis. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, have I already discussed with you the concept of bisexual? No, I have not discussed. So there are two things. One is monosexual. The word mono means?
One.
Yes. And the word sexual is one sex. So monosexual organisms have only one sex, which is like humans are monosexual. Female is separate and male is separate, right?
Yeah.
So when there is one sex present, monosexual is always dioecious. Now understand that this dioecious means, di means two.
Yeah.
And oecious means body. So when there is one sex per body, how many bodies there have to be in that species? Two.
Two.
Two separate bodies, male body and a female body. And each body will be monosexual. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So monosexual is dioecious. Yes. And second is bisexual. What do we mean by bisexual? two sexes are present. So if both the sexes are present together, do they need to have two different bodies?
No.
No. So bisexual organisms are called monooecious, single body. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Monosexual is dioecious and bisexual is monooecious. Okay. For plants,
Yes, sir.
but for plants, we also use another word which is in NCERT. If something is monooecious, we call it as homothalic. Thalic means again the body of the plant. So homo means one single thalic, homothalic. And if it is a dioecious plant, it is called heterothalic. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Monoecious is monosexual is dioecious or heterothalic. So these three words together means the similar kind of thing, right? Always read the question when it comes with respect to these three words. A bisexual is monoecious or homothalic in case of plants. Okay. Okay, Aisha, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So this is, let's stop it. Let's stop here in today's class. And do you have any doubt, first of all? Do you have any doubt you want to ask?
No, sir.
Okay, so go back and revise all these things which we did in today's class. And in the next class, I will be starting with sexual reproduction. But first, I will go with plants, okay? Because this is how the syllabus, like I have planned for every batch. But you need to study humans also for your exam, right?
So actually, we have unit test from 22nd June, and we are having 2 chapters, which is
yes, so by
sexual reproduction in plants, and then in humans.
yes, so by 22nd June we will cover both. No problem in that. In your batch only we will cover both. Okay, but still I will start with sexual reproduction in plants from the next class. Okay.
So we will be starting the new chapter, right? That's our in plants.
Yes, yes. I will be starting sexual reproduction from next class. This was all about asexual reproduction, and I gave you certain fundamentals, basics of sexual reproduction. So from next class, we will go into sexual reproduction,
Yes,
and we will start with plants. And you ping me, and I'll send you the link for animal if you want to just read it ahead of time.
yes.
But we will also cover in your class. If your exam is from 22nd June, we will cover it way before that. Don't worry, okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, Aisha, then see you in the next class. Revise. Okay.
By the way, sir, I'm coming to India also.
You are?
I'm coming to India also.
Okay. You are coming when?
I'm coming till 28th June. I will be at Delhi.
So you will give your exams and then you will come.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So welcome.
Yes,
You will come. Okay.
yes.
In the next class, come with some doubts if you have. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.